Hey guys, welcome to Gunny's Sharp Talk. What I'm going to do today, I'm not planning on doing a whole sharpening, but I wanted to show you guys some of what I was talking about, watching the reflections and scratch patterns in the bevel as I'm sharpening to help me tell that whether I've gotten all the previous scratches out or not. This is a new knife, actually just came in today. It's a PM2 and K390. After borrowing Micah's for probably a couple months, I decided that I liked this well enough I had to have it. So looking forward to sharpening it. I know a lot of people wait until they dull the factory edge, and the factory edge was pretty good, but I like to put my own edge on my knives whenever I get them. So I'm going to take the phone from Callie. Let's see if we can zoom in here. So we're looking at some scratches here. Let's see if we can get focused on the direction they're going in. More of a neutral scratch pattern, straight up and down. Edge bevel looks a little rough from what I usually do. You have deeper scratches here. I don't know if you can see that. Along here. And then you have your heel, and coming from Spyderco there, I've talked about it before, a lot of times there's a flat spot right there. But we'll get that worked out. We'll get focused. Some of the scratches, I'll show you how some of the scratches change throughout the sharpening, and how using this overhead light on there to reflect off the bevel allows me to see what I'm doing, allows me to know where to put pressure on the stone. So Callie, I'm going to have you hold this real quick so I can get scratch patterns started. I already found my angle before we started the camera. Now what I'm doing right now when I'm hitting back here on the bevel is, I know you've seen that spot where they didn't get all the way to the ricasso, and then there's a flat spot that's eventually going to cause a kind of a recurve if I keep sharpening and not hitting that point. So I'm going to start evening it out now. On my personal knives, I usually go a couple sharpenings into it before it's even, completely even, so I don't have to take off as much metal. Customer knives, you know, they want them to come back pretty even and not have to send the knife back out to me. If it's somebody local, I may do it in a couple sharpenings. That's a pretty flat spot there too. May have to go to a rougher grit. What I'm doing right now is getting out the scratches that they had on there. Right now I'm blending this heel in, and if you focus on my hand for a second, Callie, there, what I'm doing is I'm putting pressure down this way with my hand, pushing in, and as I sweep, I'm changing the pressure. Almost like I'm rolling the stone, but I'm not. I'm not picking the stone up. I'm just changing the pressure. And by doing that sweeping motion, sweeping in, I put pressure here by my hand just turning this way, but I don't lift the stone up. I just kind of pull back and down a little bit, and it puts pressure on this side of the stone. And I do the same thing going out, and then I let up on the pressure as I sweep through and hit the rest of the bevel, so that I'm hitting even pressure on here. I need a little harder pressure here to even out that flat spot in the sweep, or that flat spot by the heel when I sweep it in. But once I get onto the rest of the bevel, then I want it level pressure. Those are little things that are really hard to teach, but you get a feel for them. Something that you can practice, and by watching the reflections off your scratches, you can tell whether you're hitting it or not. And if you're wondering, my angle's 15. That's what it was from the factory, so I just left it. So let me take this and see if we can. This is what I'm working on. See this little area here, right here? I want that evened out. And if I can get it to focus in, right here, there's that little flat spot. So I'm trying to even this out. And like I said, on mine, may take a couple sharpenings. On yours, I would suggest the same thing, is to take a couple sharpenings. Sorry. Make sure my lens is clean. So let me see if I can focus and be able to tell when I hit a different point with my scratch patterns, when I'm putting pressure in a different area. All right, there we go. See, I'm getting a burr already. So, man, this is really hard to tell on camera. This is something I'm going to have to work on, play with a little bit, to try and see if we can't see the scratch patterns. There's going to be a break in film here because I'm going to wait till I get to some higher grits since I'm having a hard time staying in focus. Now that I've worked this a little bit, in order to even this out, the way I've been putting pressure, let's get this cleaned out. See how this is starting to even out right here? The way I've been putting pressure, I don't know if you noticed, but the bevel is slightly wider and then thins out a little bit going this way, widens again slightly at the tip. And a lot of you run into that. So this is where me taking and I will do it different ways. Me taking my hand and either doing this, or sometimes I'll do this. This, having my finger along this rod, allows me to really help direct my pressure and allows me to push. Take this finger and push right here. As I'm pulling up on the handle and pushing down, then I can really focus my pressure along the shoulder. And since I'm holding the phone and doing this by myself, I know it doesn't look pretty, but hopefully the description that I'm giving helps you guys. So give me just a second here and we'll come back to it and I will show you how it evens out by doing. Hopefully this picks up on camera how the bevel's evened out. Now I want to even my scratch pattern. If you see, I've got some going this way and some going this way. I'm going to have them all going this way before I switch to my next stone. Now, zoom out a little bit. As far as a burr, I haven't really worried about it because I was going to get one. I was worried about evening out my bevel and evening out my scratch pattern. And do I have a burr from heel to tip? Absolutely. But do you guys see how much better that looks right there at the heel? That little spot right there, I will get and even out through the sharpening, but how much better that looks than it did in the beginning. So bear with me through some of the focusing issues. Hopefully I feed you guys some good information on slight techniques and things like that, on how to fix these and how to make your bevel even. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this. I'm going to do some more sharpening so we don't make this video any longer than it has to be. But I'm going to try to keep popping back on camera and pick up at key points to help give you some tips. All right, I think we got an angle here, guys, that you can see. You can see all the scratches going this way. This is how, without changing the light, back up just a little bit. See how you can use reflections to tell where your scratches are going. See, the scratches are there without moving the camera or the lighting. And now you don't see them. So the same thing happens on your edge bevel here. That's what I'm looking for when I'm looking to put pressure in certain areas, is I'll see scratches or deeper scratches or brighter reflections like that. And it will let me know where the pressure, where to apply pressure to remove it, where I'm hitting on the bevel, and will let me know when the scratches are removed. So when I'm removing scratches, I'll go all one direction. Sometimes I'll do that, but then I'll go the other direction. By going the other direction, it lets me know when I've taken all the scratches out. Because if they're right now, by going this other direction where it's not showing the scratches from this stone, if there were any deep scratches in here, they would reflect and I'd be able to see them. All right, I went ahead and finished up. Let me see this. That's about as clean as I'm getting that right now with the heel. As you can see, I evened the bevel up. A little bit of reflection there. Obviously haven't stropped yet. And I say obviously, I always strop by hand, so I never put it on here. I was going to sharpen this by hand, but figured I'd do a video, see if I can get in on that bevel. So I need to get some lighting behind me to show scratch patterns and stuff better. Anyways, I apologize for the video being kind of choppy. We were going through some issues, handing phone back and forth and trying to get in to focus on things. But hopefully I explained some good tips for you guys, and like when it comes to the heel and some pressure tips. Again, going over some pressure tips. It's where you apply pressure with your hand when you're holding the knob. It makes a difference. I can hold it like this and put pressure down and pull up. And remember, that does the back shoulder of the bevel. Or I can pull down and then take this finger and push up, and that helps me hit the apex. Or I can just pull straight down and hit the apex, but I get a cleaner apex when I pull down and kind of push up. It allows me more control over the pressure. But anyways, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. We're working out some kinks on video production, but hopefully I'm providing you guys with some decent information and some understanding of sharpening. Anyways, thanks guys. All right, well, let's check our edge. I did strop it a couple times, wipe the bevel down with alcohol. This is tissue paper that you put in gift bags, holding it loosely. So it's fairly sharp. Let's see, we got a hair here. Yeah. See if we can get it to whittle. See if we can even see that. Broke it. There we go. Oh no, we got a nice long curl on that. If you guys can see that. It's hard to do this the way I'm standing. That one broke off. But anyways, cut it. You guys get the picture. It's fairly sharp. Anyways, thanks for watching.